Yay Networks.
Hey, y'all. Welcome to Life with the Lindseys. My name is Heather.
And what's up, yo? This your boy, Cornelius.
Yes, I'm so excited you landed on our podcast, and your life is pretty much going to be changed.
Yes, man. If you're looking for something real, relevant, and authentic, then you landed on the right place. Hey, here's the thing. We about to get going right now, so y'all tune in, buckle up, sit back, get ready for the show. Here we go.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Hey, y'all. Welcome to Life with the Lindseys. My name is Heather.
My name is Cornelius. So just keeping y'all updated. You know, we're getting ready to change, getting ready to do a whole rebrand. So,
Yes.
you know, if you see a new name pop up on the podcast, it's still us. You still rocking with us, but we just changing it up a little bit. But yeah, we're gonna rock this out. Yeah.
You announced it? You want to announce it?
I mean, it's cool. It's gonna be called This Is Life. So it's just a play on. I mean, you know, right now it's Life with the Lindseys, but This Is Life is more so. You know, it includes everything about life and kind of the direction that we want to go in, and you know, where we talk about certain topics and certain things that we want to be able to expound upon. But it's outside of just like Life with the Lindseys. Life with the Lindseys is like comprehensive of just our life. But we want to talk about not just our life and like how we live and what we do, but also outside of that into the lives of other people. So
It's going to be good. And we'll be back on video. I know people have been wondering.
yeah, we go into the studio. We go into the studio next week. Got a whole new studio and stuff like that they've been working on for us. So we'll be back into the studio and y'all be able to see our faces.
I gotta get dressed.
I haven't been getting haircuts. I haven't shaved. Like
We're like grunging around.
Because I'm not on social media like that anymore. I don't take pictures anymore. Like I got all this storage space in my phone. I don't take videos. So I just be like, I don't need to. My barber even texts me like, "Yo, you're not coming in every week." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't need to look any kind of certain way. I just do me." But
love it. Here for it.
So we want to talk about. So we went on a trip to Israel.
Oh, a life-changing 8-day trip in Israel.
Was it 8 or 10?
It was 10 included travel, but it was 8 days in actual Israel.
Yeah, it was intense.
And we're still jet lagged. I know I am. I don't know about you. It seems like you recovering real quick because like you're up and at the gym, but man, I'm off.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get it together.
Yeah. And kind of get an idea. So our trip over, we flew LAX to JFK in New York City. And then from JFK, we flew to London, to Heathrow. And then Heathrow, we flew to Tel Aviv, Israel. And you know, we went through security going there. We went through security 3 times. So it was like 3 different set of securities.
But it was okay because we were so excited. So we're like, all right.
I was over it. Like
really?
On that JFK to London flight, I was over it because that was the flight where my seat didn't work.
Oh yeah.
We had we had the seats that, you know, when you get in the air that you can lay down and it becomes like a bed and your seat, you know, reclines. So they're getting ready to serve us dinner and they're getting ready to bring it out. I'm just trying to, you know, kick my legs up a little bit, recline. I got a movie playing. I'm about to chill and my seat ain't working. So I called dude over and I'm like, yo, my seat ain't working. He's trying to get it to work. So he manually like kicks the bottom leg up so I can
You had a
lounge.
bunch of people over there helping you.
They were like
there was like
trying
5
to
of them.
help. And I was like, yo, I said, y'all doing the most.
Right.
And then he just came back over, apologized. And he was like, you know what? Here's a seat back here that's open. You can either move back here. He said, all right, but I made a bed for you. So after I ate, he was just like, don't worry about it. I already made the bed. Just come and lay down and go to sleep.
Yeah. It was nice
cool.
of them. Yeah, it was nice. So we finally get to Israel and we're both just so exhausted, I think at that point, but we're in Tel Aviv. And I was just so excited because the hotel we stayed at was the Satai. And that was the very first one. And right outside our window was the Mediterranean Sea and the Jaffa.
The Port of Jaffa.
The Port of Jaffa. And if you guys know your Bible, that's where Jonah got onto a boat right there at that port and he ran from God. And it was just mind blowing. And I was like, babe, I have to go put my feet in this water because I need to feel the water of like disobedience.
My God.
I just need to feel it. But to me, it's like, and I'm still processing our whole trip, but the fact that like Jonah was right there and he walked those streets.
Yeah.
And it was incredible. And I must say the food in Tel Aviv was a dream.
Yeah.
I was obsessed with that food there. It's like a vegan dream, but not only that, they had tons of meat options for you too.
Yeah, they did. Tel Aviv kind of reminds me of New York City.
Mm.
And when we landed in Tel Aviv, we landed at like, no, was it in the afternoon or in the morning? It was in the morning.
Was it?
We landed in the morning.
It was like 2, I thought.
We landed in the morning.
Did we?
I think we landed. I don't remember. But we landed, but we landed on Shabbat.
Mm.
So in Jewish culture, I mean, I think like not even Jewish culture, but where more Orthodox Jews probably practice it, to the extreme. But Shabbat is where it's like the whole community just shuts down.
Yeah.
They go to rest. So they're not, depending on your level of activity and depending on, how religious you are, it depends on how much work that you'll actually do on that day. But on Saturday, like it was shut down.
I was so inspired and challenged by that.
Yeah, we were, but we were nervous that we wouldn't be able to check into our hotel.
That's true.
Until after the sun went down on Saturday. So Shabbat starts when the sun goes down on Friday until the sun goes down on Saturday.
And they don't work, y'all.
And it ain't open.
There's even a Shabbat elevator.
Yeah, a Shabbat elevator. You ain't got to press the button. It's gonna come, and it stops on every floor.
Yeah. And then if you try to order room service, it's going to be cold.
Yeah.
Like nobody's working, nobody's cooking. You're not getting nothing.
Yeah, even breakfast. Remember breakfast the last Shabbat morning
cold,
we was there was like, I was like, yo, y'all not making eggs this morning? Like,
right?
No, pimp, you better get this this boiled egg that's sitting over here.
They just really, I love that. They just really recognize how important it is to rest. And I think it challenged me because I'm like, dang, I need to work on that.
I saw Sabbath in a whole new light. By looking at it.
Yeah,
I did. But then we had Tel Aviv, and then
so we were able to check in our hotel though. We were thankful at our hotel.
They were dope. We got to Tel Aviv. We stayed in Tel Aviv for 2 nights.
Yep,
2 nights, and then we met up with our group. It was 22 of us in total. Met up with our group. Had a nice group dinner.
It was a great group.
And then the next morning, we left Tel Aviv and we drove to the Sea of Galilee.
Yeah.
You want to kind of tell them a little bit about that?
Sea of Galilee was probably one of my favorite spots there. I mean, I had 2 favorites, Jerusalem and for 2 separate reasons. But so we went to Sea of Galilee and we stayed again at the Satai,
Yeah.
In Sea of Galilee. Now we didn't love the service there. We felt like we were kind of
they were tolerating us.
They were tolerating us. They
we
almost
felt
looked
tolerated.
at us very much so. But it's the nicest hotel in that area, right? But the Sea of Galilee, that whole area, Capernaum, right? Am I saying that right?
Capernaum.
Capernaum.
Yeah.
That's where Jesus started his ministry.
Yeah.
And so we got there and we started our tours. Now we had this massive bus that kind of took all of us all over. And we had tours planned from 8 a.m. until 6 or 7 p.m. every day, y'all. And we went 3 or 4 different places. Our tour guide, shout out to Kira.
My dear friend.
My dear friend. She's like a Bible scholar. And it's so cool. Like we literally went from place to place.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite places was going to the Sea of Galilee. Because obviously, like if you read all of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, y'all, I mean, there's so many stories where Jesus went to the other side. Now it all makes sense. Like now we can see he went to a whole nother region when he went to the other side.
Yeah.
When he was sitting there, when he walked by the pier and he saw Peter and he went up to him and was like, I'm going to teach you how to fish for men. Like you can see all of that come alive.
Yeah.
Because you can literally see the sea. And it was cool to be able to preach where Peter walked on water.
Yeah.
At the Sea of Galilee as well. So, but my favorite in Sea of Galilee was the church where, Jesus asked Peter 3 times, do you love me? And then also that's where the disciples would meet on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my favorite. Like I could feel God's presence so heavy in there. Like I went in and out of that church 3 times. Like people probably thought I was crazy. Like I went in, I sat down. It was like overwhelming. I actually went down to the altar there.
Wow.
And I just was like, Jesus was here. You could feel him. Like you could feel him in the church.
Yeah, I wish I would have went to church, but I didn't get a chance to. I got kicked out. I got kicked out because I was walking and I was eating food while I was walking to the church, and the priest who was standing there. The militant priest was like, he was like, he pointed at me. He was like, go. No. He said, this is not a restaurant.
Oh, he went in on you.
He went in. I was like, all right, little buddy. Like, chillax.
The culture's different.
Yeah. I mean, I had to understand that. But I think what helped me to understand that was being at the Sea of Galilee, being at our hotel.
Oh, yeah.
Because I kind of got a taste of the culture, because you kind of feel more tolerated than like celebrated. Like I got some stories I'm gonna tell y'all. Before I get to that, let me tell y'all about Fabric by Gerber Life. Like, y'all have to understand, life insurance is so important, and you want to make sure that you protect your children, and you want to protect your family. In fact, you want to protect your future, right? It's importance of protecting your family's future with life insurance. Whether you get Fabric by Gerber Life or not. We have 3 kids, and all 3 of our kids have insurance policy. Mm-hmm. Like, that is important.
So
and then
key.
And then my wife and I, we have individual insurance policies, because if something happens to me, I want to make sure that my family's taken care of. The same way, if something were to happen to my wife, I want to make sure that my family's taken care of, that they don't have a need for anything, that if they need to purchase something, that they can take care of me as they need to. But then also just thinking about our children, making sure that our children have what they need. And a lot of times we don't think about that kind of stuff. But Fabric by Gerber Life was designed by parents for parents to help you get high quality, surprisingly affordable term life insurance policy in less than 10 minutes. One of the biggest things about life insurance is that most people exaggerate how much they think life insurance is by 300%.
Wow.
That's how far off you are. You're probably thinking right now, I can't afford it.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. You cannot afford it.
Yeah.
Like, you need life insurance. And I'm telling you, Fabric by Gerber Life is where you need to start. The great thing is, y'all, you could be offered coverage instantly with no health exam required.
Yes, you guys, protect your family today with Fabric by Gerber Life. Apply today in just 10 minutes at meetfabric.com/LWTL. That's meetfabric.com/LWTL. MEET fabric.com/LWTL.
Policies issued by Western Southern Life Insurance Company. Not available in certain states. Prices subject to underwriting and health questions. Again, meetfabric.com/LWTL. MEET fabric.com/LWTL. So yeah. So I mean, this ain't in part like the holy tour, but nevertheless, so I when we checked into the hotel, I remember asking dude, like, what time does the gym close? Remember that?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, the gym is 24 hours. So I'm like, okay, bet. So I think that morning I woke up at like 4 a.m.
This
right?
man, and it's pitch black. Now, our hotel was like, it's not a hotel where it's connected to other rooms. Like, we had our own little mini houses.
Yeah, it's like a little house.
We had our own little pool. It was nice. So you had to like walk pretty far. Like, it was very separated from the rest of the resort.
Yeah.
This man left at like 5 o'clock, and I'm so nervous. I'm like, do you want to FaceTime me on your way?
Well, you wouldn't be able to see me.
I know, it was pitch black.
Somebody would have got me. Like, you wouldn't be able to know where I was at.
I know. So you went, and then
I went to the gym. And now, mind you, I've never been at a hotel or a resort where it's like pitch black. Like, the lobby is closed.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I've ever, have you ever been to a hotel where they close down the lobby? Like,
never.
There are no workers there at all.
I've never seen that.
Like, I've usually seen, like, even when it's really late or really early, I've seen like workers driving around on golf carts. Yeah. I've seen security around.
I don't care about you.
Nothing. It was just,
they were like, figure it out.
Closed. So
figure it out.
I walk up and I'm trying to figure out, okay, where the spa is. So I'm like looking at the map. I go over and I walk over and I'm like, oh, it must be right there. So as I'm walking towards the spa, I'm seeing like a phone light. And I'm like, somebody must be in the lobby, but it's pitch black. And all of a sudden I see somebody walking towards me and I'm like, oh shoot, now it's time to fight. Dude walk up and he's like, hey, what are you doing? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to the gym. He's like, oh, the gym's closed. And I said, but dude told me yesterday the gym is open 24/7. He's like, no, the gym don't open up until 9. So I got up we went to breakfast.
Yeah.
And after breakfast, dude was finally opened the lobby up. Dude was standing in the lobby. I was like, yo, what happened? Like, why couldn't I? Like, I thought you said the gym was 24/7. He was like, oh, it is. He said, but you should. He was like, but the spa opens up at 9. So pretty much if I wanted to go to the gym, because it was pitch black dark,
Yeah.
I would have to walk into the building and turn on the lights.
And find the lights.
Find the lights. I don't even know where the lights are.
Yeah, that was wild. Like the service wasn't amazing. And the food wasn't great either. I feel like in Sea of Galilee, like I think I had apples one night for dinner. I was just like, I give up.
But I tried to order food. Remember, they told me, they was like, sorry. They said
like,
room service closed and hung up.
Right. It wasn't even like the time that it closed,
so rude,
right?
Bro.
So then we left Sea of Galilee, and that day we went immediately to the Jordan, which was about 20, 30 minutes away.
Yeah.
And we got baptized. I got baptized for the 3rd time. And it's so funny because I posted it on social media, and I'm pretty sure the social media Christian police sent me to hell at least 5 times when I posted about it. And so I told them, I was like, you know what? And I mentioned it to you. I'm like, we should talk about that on the podcast and just, give people perspective. Because I think people hear the one faith, one baptism thing, and they're like, oh, you're only supposed to get baptized one time. That's it. So you want to just give some insight on it?
I think even there are some people who believe that repentance is a one-time thing and repentance is continuous.
Yeah.
When it talks about, one spirit, one faith, one baptism, you have to understand the context is about unity.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ continuously makes a play towards unity. He says, I am the truth.
Yeah.
I am the way. I am the light. He says, no man shall get to the Father except they come through me. So it's talking about, how he is the singular, one, he's a singular way, but this is all about unity.
Yeah.
So when I think about that in terms of context, when I read there's one baptism and one spirit, and he's not saying you can only be baptized once. Jesus didn't come to give you more law, folks. Like he came to set you free. It don't matter.
I think people like bondage.
Well, they do. I mean, slavery, you don't have to be in jail to be enslaved. The slavery's in your mind. It's not just about you just being dipped down in water, but the importance here is not even about the water.
Yeah.
The importance is about what did John the Baptist say? He says, today I baptize you of water. He said, but the one that shall come, he said, whose sandals I can't even lace. He said, he shall baptize you of fire by the Holy Spirit.
Good.
So even if I'm talking about one baptism, then it's not, I can't just assume that I'm only referring to water baptism.
Yeah.
The baptism that we desire earnestly is the baptism of the Holy Spirit by fire. Yeah. It is the immersion of the Holy Spirit within us so that he walks with us.
Yeah.
That's what this is about. And so, you have people who are like, well, you only should be baptized one time. Well, then maybe you should only go to church one time.
Right.
Like, it's like,
so wild.
it's just, it's all about unity. Listen, folks, like, please be uncaged. Like, get out of your freaking religious box.
It's this box. And then they trash everybody else that does not follow their rules too. You know what I mean?
And here's the thing that people don't understand. When you have that type of mentality, you are just like the Pharisees and the Sadducees.
That's it.
You are exactly like them. And I think being there, that was one of the most eye-opening things for me. Like, as I'm looking at places where Jesus walked, and I'm looking at places where Jesus taught, where the Pharisees and the Sadducees would come to him in the synagogue, and I'm looking at this stuff, and I'm picturing the Pharisees looking down upon Jesus and constantly bringing up their law, constantly bringing up their way. And it's like, this is the same thing that's happening right now. Wild. It's like, well, no, you can only do this. I attribute everybody who came after you about being baptized again, they would be the same people who would look at Jesus and say, how dare you heal on the Sabbath? Oh,
100%. And that's what I said. I said, Jesus calls you guys Pharisees.
Yes.
and then the second question I got was, why address it? Why even talk about it? But I'm like, Jesus addressed the Pharisees. How do people know that they're in bondage unless somebody tells them that they're in bondage? And I feel like a lot of church folk are stuck in bondage and rules. And it's like they can't enjoy the freedom that comes with loving Jesus and knowing him because of the box that they put him in.
Yeah.
And
I mean, let me be clear for you so that you understand. You may be out there and you may be like, I don't even know what baptism is. Yeah. Water baptism is an outward expression of an inward belief. That's what it is. So typically, like the way that we baptize people, traditionally, right now in present day, especially in westernized culture, the idea is that someone will hold you, and then you would, when you stand upright in the water, that represents that you are now dead. Okay. And then anyone who is dead, what happens when they lie, when they always go down to lie flat. So when you are fully immersed, it's almost like you're lying down. That represents death.
Yeah.
It's like, so now that's you had your old man that was standing up. Now you're dead. And then when you come back out of the water after you were fully immersed, that represents new life.
Yeah.
But I can get in water all day long.
Yeah.
But if it's not in my heart, then what I did was an outward expression, again, of an inward belief of what I don't believe.
Yeah.
So baptism, water baptism, while it is highly symbolic, it is an outward expression of an inward belief. And if you don't truly believe it in your heart, then you can argue people all day long, but you need baptism by fire, baby.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
I agree, which is this daily refining, a daily decision to choose him, a daily just yes.
Yeah.
To surrender, right?
Yeah.
So for me, getting baptized there was because that's where Jesus got baptized in the Jordan. And so for me, it was symbolic. Like I've been saved since 2003 and, got baptized then. And then I got baptized by you maybe 10 years ago.
Probably so.
And then you baptized me again.
Yeah.
In the Jordan. But
a lot of people got baptized there. I mean, after I baptized y'all, I had a group of older ladies who was like,
they were so cute.
I was getting out of the water and they was like, where are you going? And I'm like, well, that was my group. And they were like, well,
done.
They was like, well, who gonna baptize us? And I thought they were joking. I was like, oh, they're just joking. And the lady looked at me, I said, you really want me to baptize you? She was like, yeah, who else gonna do it? And I said, where's your guide? Like, who's your leader? She was like, he's up there. He was just standing up there, looking like he was part of the show.
But they all got dressed and risked it all by faith.
By faith. And came down there and
it was a whole little those little ladies were so cute.
They really
had
cute.
To be about 60, 70 years old.
Yep.
And so
some of them couldn't even walk.
Wow.
They had it was two ladies, her knees were bad.
Oh wow.
So I was having to literally hold her up.
Yeah.
And then I went down with her to be baptized for her to come back up because she so badly wanted to be baptized there in the Jordan.
That's so it was beautiful. It was. So then got baptized, which was amazing. And then after that we headed to Jerusalem and we were there the longest. We were there for 5 days. Jerusalem kind of felt like a little bit like New York City too.
No, Jerusalem felt like London.
Yeah, you're right.
Jerusalem felt like London.
It did feel like London. The people were friendlier in Jerusalem.
In Jerusalem? Hold on. Jerusalem.
We stayed at the Mamilla. So we stayed at the Mamilla Hotel there, which is I guess the hotel a lot of people stay at. The rooms were so crazy small. It was wild.
I told you, it's like London.
Yeah, it's very much like London. Yeah, the food was just okay. I wasn't like, oh my gosh, it was so amazing. It was just, I don't know, a subpart of me. The best food to me was for sure Tel Aviv. But onto the actual activities, I think my favorite part of Jerusalem was
what?
Not the Sea of Galilee, the Garden of Gethsemane.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, that was, I don't even know if I had a part, but before we even get more into our trip in Jerusalem, bare necessities. Like, babe,
Yes.
I know we've been married for over 12 years.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to finding the right bra, I've heard it. I've heard it all about, how it hurts, that strap hurts around your shoulder or it hurts on your back. And when you get home, it's like you just want to release them puppies and just let them go.
You just want to let it
so
all
you
go.
need something that's going to be comfortable and hold them bad boys up the right way.
I know. Now, finding stuff that works is when you do find it, you have to rush and hold on tight to it. And you guys, I have found it with bare necessities. So I ordered some bras and panties and I got them in the mail and I opened them up and I was like, oh my gosh. And I put it on. It was so comfortable. There was no weird gaps. It didn't show through my shirt or anything. Because sometimes bras are they have so much texture on them or something and it just doesn't look right. It doesn't look clear. Or it might dig into your shoulders. I know. Same with panties though. It's you want to get the ones that don't ride up and that don't give you a panty line, right? I feel like your bra and panties are a part of your outfit, right? Yeah. And it should make your outfit better, not worse. And so, y'all, we have come across bare necessities and I fell in love with it. I'm sure my husband fell in love with it
I
because
fell in love with the fact that it brings comfort for you.
Right. It's the biggest online intimate apparel retailer, offering over 140 of the best brands all in one place, y'all. They put fit and comfort above everything else. And that my thing is this, like, sometimes the fit and comfort doesn't match with the look. Like, the look of the bras and panties are sexy. They're beautiful. I love it. So they have tons of sizes, all the way from extra small to 5XL. There's so many options, you guys. There's cups, AA to O. There's so many options. So you might feel like, I don't know if the bra is going to fit or not. They actually have a quiz, babe.
You took the quiz.
I did.
Yeah, you took the quiz.
It's a bra finder fit quiz that points you in the right direction in just a couple clicks, you guys. Now, you can actually give them a call or start a live chat to start your personalized fitting. They actually have bra fit experts.
Yeah, that's
Isn't
dope.
that so cool?
Yeah, that's dope.
So yeah, they've been getting all this great feedback for over 20 years, and they know what the customers love, hate, and what they need in bras and lingerie. And that's why they started Bare by Bare Necessities.
Yeah, hopefully Bare Necessities come out with something for us to help to keep our Jones in place, you know. But right now, listen to me, like ladies who listening, fellas who listening, because you want to make sure you get something for your ladies. Right now, you get 20% off your Bare Necessities order plus a free panty when you go to barenecessities.com and use code LWTL20. That's code LWTL20. LWTL20 at barenecessities.com to get 20% off and a free panty. So you're getting 20% off and you getting a free panty, y'all, with your order. That is Bare Necessities. Bare is BARE. Bare, BARE, Necessities, NECESSITIES, barenecessities.com, and use code LWTL20 and get your knockers, get them where they need to
Wait,
be.
Did you call them
get
knockers?
you some, get your panty right. Get your line up right. They got your cups. They got you from extra small to 5XLs. You have no excuse. But you got to do the quiz. You did the quiz, right, babe?
I did the quiz.
You did the quiz. I'm telling you the quiz, it works. My wife could tell you. But make sure you do it. barenecessities.com, code LWTL20.
Yes. All right.
So Jerusalem was dope. So you said your favorite part was the Garden of Gethsemane.
Yeah, because it's like you almost can put yourself in Jesus' shoes of like the pressure and the pain. It just made him more real to know that, man, he sat here at this olive tree. You know, and I loved our instructor, our guide, Kira. She said, "How do you get the olives off the tree?" And I was like, "You just shake them." I mean, I've seen machines that like shake and just like apples and all the apples fall, but obviously back in the day they didn't have those machines.
Yeah.
So she said, no, they got a stick and they beat the olive tree until all of the olives came off to be crushed and pressed. And then she compared that to like Jesus, and like he sat on that tree and against that tree, and he knew that he was going to get beat and crushed for us.
Yeah.
And so it's just when you're sitting there and you're reflecting on like what Jesus did, like I wanted to scream and cry and like, you know, but I was trying to like keep it cordial in there, but it was just overwhelming. You know, it was a lot to know that he went through all of that for us. And then the other thing that humbled me was like, I looked up and I saw the temple that was not far from there. It's literally steps away from the garden.
Probably about a good 10, 15 minute walk.
Yeah. And so you're looking at it and saying, Jesus would go to this temple, right?
And sit on them steps and teach.
And sit on those steps and teach. And it's like he could call down fire from heaven, right? He could have all the power in the world, right? And he still like laid down his life for us. Yeah. Like it was just so powerful. It was
And I think that was the most impactful thing for me. Standing there in the Garden of Gethsemane, looking over at the temple and just imagining, you know, like, but you have to understand he's over at the temple that is extremely, extremely busy, full of people. And there's no way that he can teach over there, which is why he walked over to the garden to find a sense of quiet. Yeah. Like it's no like mystery why Jesus started his ministry in Capernaum, you know, at the Sea of Galilee, because when we were at the Sea of Galilee, it was quiet.
It was so quiet.
It was peaceful.
It was
like, you know, it wasn't a lot of noise. And I think that was the biggest thing for me, standing there at the Sea of Galilee, and just hearing how quiet it was.
It was amazing.
Because in Tel Aviv, it was like, it was just like everywhere.
was
I mean,
busy.
everybody
It was
it was
busy.
so busy.
Yeah.
And it just didn't sleep. Like the nightlife. I mean, the restaurant stayed open until 3 a.m. Like it's just, I was trying to order food and I was like, dude, I have all these options. And then in
Yeah.
Jerusalem, you know, it was just busy and a ton of traffic and it was a lot. You got horns blowing. So you can, and you got to understand, I recognize that the time periods are different, but even in Jesus's day, you know, it's still the hectic life in Jerusalem.
Yeah.
He had to get away from it to go over to the garden, to go over to the Mount of Olives, to go and sit under the olive tree so he can be able to teach the disciples. But just to see it up close.
Yeah.
And just walk in those spaces. Like we walked through the city of David. You know, we walked, where else did we go? We went to the Dead Sea.
Oh yeah, don't forget we went to the Temptation Mountain. That's what they call it. That's where Jesus was tempted.
Yeah.
He got baptized in the Jordan and then he walked there. And y'all, what was mind-blowing to me is how far everything was, knowing that Jesus walked that far all the time. Like it was wild. So he went to the mountains to get tempted. We know 40 days, 40 nights where he didn't eat. And he got tempted by the devil or tested by the devil. And so they called it Temptation Mountain. But I also found out that, I didn't know this, I don't know if you did, but Elijah also, when he was running from Jezebel and he called down fire literally from Mount Carmel and he won and he went
to the cave.
The cave was actually in the same area that Jesus
it was right.
got tempted, right?
Yeah, it was right there in that crevices.
Yeah, it was wild. So
and now they built a monastery that's right there. Not Montessori, but a monastery or monastery, whatever the thing called. But they built one like right in that little area where Elijah was in the cave.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was amazing.
And to see that both levels of temptation and wretchedness and depression and, you know, and, you know, anxiety, like to see that both places happen, that both events happen within the same location was just, it was just mind blowing.
It was amazing.
That was mind blowing.
Yeah, it truly was amazing. Another part that I liked was when we went to the Dead Sea, the Dead Sea Scrolls. Like we went into the museum there and they showed that they had to wait for the scrolls to come in the sea in like these little bottles. They open them up and then they would translate it onto this leather, right?
Yeah.
And they would obviously complete the Bible and work on the Bible.
Right.
And to me, like we just have the Bible at our hands. But I just think back of like what the people before us went through to get the Bible, to get it written. I mean, it was so much work that they went through.
I honestly think, and this is my personal opinion, I feel like if we didn't have the Bible, I think people would probably have more faith. And the reason why I say that is because oftentimes we think that advancement or progression makes a situation better. But us having the Bible still does not give us a measure of faith. Like us reading the words, we still doubt what we read.
Yeah.
But you have to understand, you know, somebody like Abraham who didn't have a Bible to reference.
Yeah.
He didn't have a book to reference.
And we saw where he lived too.
Yeah, we went out to Genesis land, and so we were able to kind of see and understand his world. But like he didn't have a reference point.
I mean, we take it for granted.
We take it for granted.
That's
we do
the real thing. Like, I mean, even if you're listening, you might scroll on social media, but when's the last time like you read your word and spent time with God? I mean, that's real. That's
even going as far as just reading the word, or going as far as being like, okay, God, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
You know, can I be obedient to you in this way? And that was the biggest thing that I saw in Jesus walking from one place to the next, to the disciples, Peter walking from here to here. It's like the level of dedication that you had to have to walk on a 4-day journey.
That's real.
To where you need to get to, just because you're going, you know, to go to a feast, or you're going to share the gospel.
Yeah.
Like that's a level of dedication just to go because God told you to. You know, like to even be at the place where Peter went to go and meet Cornelius. It was like that level of, from where Peter had to walk, you know, over by Jaffa,
so far,
and where he had to go to meet Cornelius. It was like God to tell him to go do this. And we read it in the Bible and we just like, oh, he must have been in the city, like right next door. And it's like Peter walked for days.
Weeks to get to him.
to get to him.
That's wild.
Just because God told him to. And you see their level of faith, and then we look at ours, and I mean, they walked for days and for weeks to do what God said. And I mean, we won't even like send an email.
Right.
Like legit, you know what I mean?
That's real. No, it's real. It's
I think
so
the trip
real.
was life-changing. We're actually looking at the possibility of going back there next year. It'll be a little different. We'll be at the Sea of Galilee, and our focus will be healing.
Yeah.
It'll be healing and finding some stuff, but we'll be able to talk more about that, stuff like that. So it's gonna be good.
It's gonna be life-changing. So yeah, Israel's the place definitely that needs to be on your bucket list if it's not. You can also check out our Instagrams. We posted the entire trip. I think I'm all Instagrammed out. I need a whole Instagram break now, but it was really amazing. But we love you guys so much. Thanks for tuning in and being a part of Life with the Lindseys.